Welcome back, my friends, to another episode of Más que un Podcast. I'm here with Buga and Pablo. We're going to be focusing on the big tie between PSG and Barca. Champions League quarterfinals. Let's go. I'm excited about it already. We're going to be talking lineups, combined 11, predictions, and more. I got a few over-unders that I'm going to throw Pablo and Buga. But before we get to all that, boys, did we watch the Copa del Rey final? Athletic Club with the big win. What do we think? Did we watch it? I'm seeing some head nods.
Okay.
Buga, what are your thoughts?
Who goes first? Who goes first? I go first? Okay, I go
Do
first.
it, Buga. Jump in.
I like the game. I watched it. I think it was an entertaining match, to be honest. I think that Mallorca gave Atletico Madrid a run for its money. And to be honest, I didn't know some sort of how difficult of a team they can be. So kudos to them. Mm-hmm. They actually put in a very great performance. I think Atletico, actually, if you watch the entirety, 120 minutes, I think Mallorca deserved actually more than one. That's what I think. But the passion of Bilbao, it's like, that's another thing you can take into account. Like being a neutral here, don't having a horse in this race. I'm just going completely. It's football. You know what? I like it. There's stories for both ends. And at the end of the day, like if I'm a Mallorca fan, I'm not mad at. Like, of course you want to win the Copa del Rey, but it's like, dude, you've put an incredible performance. Look where you're at. Look how it literally took 2 penalties to get to that point. And yeah, I think at the end of the day, it's like. It's weird what I'm going to say, but I think like football won, it's just like, that's so cringe, but it's like at the end of the day, I think everything came together to a nice close ending for La Copa del Rey. I think it made sense. So yeah, I think it was a good game, entertaining. It wasn't the punishment I thought it was supposed to be. Remember that we talked about it, how maybe.
That's right. Like, that's why there were no La Liga matches. Yeah, you guys have to watch this game. Shame on. Yeah,
exactly.
Last week. Yeah.
And it paid off. It paid off. So good job on both of them. The Iñaki Williams brothers, nice to see. And Nico Williams Jr., what a guy. Nico Williams.
What a guy indeed. Pablo, any takeaways from the final there?
Yeah, I think Nico was the best player on the pitch, to be fair. I'm excited to see him at left wing for Spain in the Euros with Lamine on the other side.
I thought you were going to say Barca.
That's what I was.
Well,
that's what I was staring at, folks. I made note of that during the match. Yeah, I was like, get him to Barcelona. 50 million euro buyout, and I bet you we could get him for less than that. Because here's my thing. Am I right in the timeline that until he signed this last contract extension, he was going to be a free agent this summer? Am I correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
yeah.
So. If I'm just speculating, if I'm reading into things, I think Nico Williams did the club a favor by signing a contract extension, and then the club returned that favor by having a reasonable buyout, because that dude is worth way more than 50 million euros. Like, you got to be kidding me. So I think he was like, hey, I'll sign an extension so the club doesn't, miss out on a big sale. But 50, we got to snag that up, right?
Yeah, I want to intersect there. I think that for me, there are 2 players right now that I look at. This is what I want in my left wing. I want a guy who just will give 100% to the end of the game. And it's just like can go through because of skill, but also because of desire and motivation. Can you guess the other player that I'm talking about? I saw him already 2 games. The last 2 games that I saw him, he played today. He scored today. We're recording this on a Sunday.
Is it someone in the Premier League?
Yeah.
Is it Diaz?
Yes.
Yeah, I would take Diaz. I would definitely take Diaz. What would be his price tag?
I think it could be around the same. Like if it's if Nico Williams is like 50, I think Luis Diaz could be like 50 as well. The thing is that I don't know. I just look at this both players and I go like, this is what I want. I just want a guy, pure talent, pure desire, pure power, pure, just work ethic. And I think that could work more. We can link to Kvaratskhelia and stuff like that. And it's like, sure, like it's fine, but I want that sort of guy. And it's gonna sound difficult, and this is gonna probably sound weird, but it's like, hey, he's sort of like I wouldn't be mind. Like I like Rafinha on the right wing. I wouldn't mind something akin to that on the left hand side as well.
Yeah.
And I like that. I feel that's what we need, more important, more than just like talent. Because at the end of the day, this team, I think we have talent already. The problem is overall, can we keep that consistency throughout the entirety of the game? And these are players that normally don't tend to get injured that much as well. So
yeah,
those are my two options now. I'm set in stone. Those are the two guys that I'm pushing through.
yeah. Pablo, what do you think? Is Nico Williams the right fit for Barcelona on that left wing?
Yeah, to be fair, I mean, this time last year, even maybe, I wouldn't have said so. I didn't think he impressed with Spain at all in the World Cup in Qatar. And I just thought, like, good young player, but maybe not mature enough. But he's come a long way, and I watch him now, and I think he's the best player on the pitch in a lot of games. He just looks like a proper danger. Like I said, if he's starting left wing for Spain, it's good news. You know, it means he's probably ready for Barca. So, yeah, he's a top player. And I thought again last night in the Copa del Rey final, he was superb. So really exciting to watch. For 50 million, it wouldn't be a bad big signing for us, if you know what I mean, to put our budget into him. I don't think it would be. Of course, we have to factor in João Cancelo's fee as well. But that was a good Copa del Rey final, really historic. And it was nice to see two teams there where it was like, it was their everything. Even when Barca get into the Copa del Rey final, it's like the little minor trophy, you know? And it was nice to see like those two teams would have like died for that trophy. And I think that's cool, you know, that's what the Cup should be about. And I value it as a Barca fan, but I know there are a lot of Barca fans who don't, and they just think like, okay, put that in the cabinet and let's move on now. But like, it's important to win these trophies, and you know, to see how much the fans cared in the stadium, the players, the coaches, like that is what it's all about. And credit to Athletic Club, because they're probably the most special, like big enough like club, or maybe the most special club in the top 5 leagues in Europe. Actually, to be fair to them, so yeah, I think you can't hate them really. They're a class club, and I'm happy for them, to be fair. Gutted for Mallorca, because I agree with Bulgar. I thought they did really well. Showed the quality of La Liga, by the way, that people question. But these sides, you know, even a bit lower down the table, so strong in defence, tactically sharp, move the ball really well, create chances really sharply, transition well. Got so much quality, by the way. I think, you know, that's why I put it out there with potentially the best league in Europe, because it's just the quality through the teams is so good. Both really impressive.
Is it crazy for me to say that I think it's set in stone that Atletico Bilbao is the third biggest team in Spain?
Depends on what you mean by biggest. You know what I mean? Like, I would say if you watch La Liga for whatever reason, you probably know and respect Bilbao, and you might even have a little bit of affinity for them, right? But if you don't watch La Liga, I don't think you know about Bilbao. How would you, right? Because they're not on the European stage.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think they've got more leagues than Atletico. They've got more Copa del Rey. They're second most.
I'll give you all that. Yeah.
They're the third most decorated team, I think, in Spain. They have never been relegated, and they do it with this rule of just Spanish of players coming from that area.
So I would give you third most successful club. Right, I would give you something like that for those reasons, right? The way that they run the club, the players that they keep, all those things. But in terms of like, what was the first thing that you said? Biggest? I don't know if we can say the biggest.
Exactly. Atleti would be up there really surely, you know, wouldn't they?
Even a Villarreal or a Valencia, and really because of their early 2000s, I would say, era more so, but. I don't know. That would be an interesting poll, actually, and one for the comments.
Chat, comments. I think you back me. I think Bilbao is the third biggest team in Spain.
Oh, okay.
Let's go, boys.
Let us know. Who's the third biggest team? Obviously behind Barcelona, and then a far distant second, Real Madrid. And then who's third? Let us know down in the comments.
You don't believe that, dude. You don't believe that.
I believe it. I believe it in my bones. Absolutely. Moving on. Shall we talk PSG Barcelona, gentlemen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, indeed. All right. So like I said, we're going to talk Barca's lineup. We're going to talk a combined 11. And then I know a couple weeks ago we did predictions, but I want to revisit that now that we're a little bit closer to. We'll see how we're feeling about that. How's that sound?
Right. Can we just talk about like how we're feeling coming into this game?
Okay. Get into the feels. Get into it. How are we feeling?
Okay. Let's talk about PSG. I literally talked to my dad in lunchtime, and he's not been following football as much as he did before. And it's like, he's asking me like, how's PSG? And I'm like, dude, if Barcelona beats PSG, like nobody bats an eye. You know, if PSG beats Barcelona, nobody bats an eye. It's okay. It's fair. Their team like in the same level. If Barcelona were to beat a Manchester City, a Real Madrid, a Bayern Munich, even an Arsenal,
huge.
Okay, yeah. That's huge. Okay, that's different. So I'm just saying that I think that's the best way to see PSG on this tie. I think it's an even game. However, we cannot underestimate two things. The first is that Barcelona haven't played a Champions League game in a very long time, and they have a lot of young players in there. Like there are a lot of players that haven't played a instance of this magnitude before. Like you could only say Lewandowski, Gundogan, Sergi Roberto, and even Sergi Roberto and Ter Stegen are probably the only ones who have played at this level. João Cancelo, 4 players of the starting 11. That's it. And then you could also mention the fact that I'm gonna be honest, they have the best player in the world right now, and that's Kylian Mbappe, and he's a guy that can literally finish the game by himself. And yeah, that's kind of where I wanted to start this discussion, in the sense that I don't think it's an easy game. It's not an easy game. It's not a comfortable game. It's not even, I believe, an even game. I think it's more favorite to Paris Saint-Germain than Barcelona. I personally would be surprised if Barcelona were to beat PSG in this one. I'll be honest. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, I would be surprised. I would be like, I would be surprised. I'll be surprised. I'll give you like, I'll be surprised. Oh. I'm expecting Barcelona's run, but to maybe end here. But I want to believe otherwise. I think that this team, though, has it in them to beat PSG, and it all comes down to how good we can play this first game. I think that's it. I think Barcelona, if they can show up to the Parc des Princes like last time we did, and we got a draw. That time we played with Ronald Koeman, I think it was. Junior Firpo completely had Mbappe in his pocket. So amazing game.
Yeah.
Kudos to Junior Firpo.
Yeah. Dembele missed chances. No big deal.
Yeah. Messi scored a golazo. Messi missed that penalty, unfortunately. Yeah. What I mean is that if we're able to do a performance like that, where we're smart, where we're comfortable, we play confidently. Like I was really surprised against Napoli how well we played. Like in the first half, we came out there and I was like, where has this Barca been in ages? And I think that confidence is what we need to pull through. But I think this team is very emotional, and one Mbappe goal, one missed chance, I think that could be the end though for Barcelona in the UCL. That's kind of what I wanted to say. That's my preface.
That's the emotional roller coaster of Buga's feelings going into this match. I think
only feelings.
I think you said some good things there. I mean, Barcelona do have a young team. I think that a lot of them are lacking in that experience. I do think that Barcelona are still the underdog in this. They're a bigger name. They're a bigger club. They're in better form currently. But as you said, I think most people would be surprised if Barcelona beat PSG. Like we've been very optimistic. We've been really on that hype train of Barcelona right now. But I think you're right. I think I would also be a bit surprised if they pulled off the win at Paris. Right? We'll talk overall predictions and everything, but I would be a little bit surprised going in. So that's where I'm at with it. For me, I think my biggest takeaway from this is going to be a big point of, did Barcelona make the right decision in letting Dembele go? I think after these 2 legs, we're going to know for sure whether or not that was the right decision for Barcelona and for Dembele. Pablo, how are you feeling?
Yeah, I think I hear both of your points, to be fair. I think probably a lot of Barca fans will be feeling like that because of recent European experiences. We just naturally don't come in with a lot of confidence, especially to an away from home game. I'd agree that I think a lot of the fan base would probably be shocked if we came out with a 2-0 win from the Parc des Princes, because we're just not that sort of team at the moment. But I also believe that if we play to our best, we're better than PSG. I think our players certainly are anyway, and I know we'll do the lineup in a minute, but on paper, I think actually they've got Mbappe and they have got other good players. They've got a very good coach as well, who I think is maybe one of the main worries we should have coming into this game, is that he might tactically outsmart us. But I think our players can and potentially should be knocking out PSG over 2 legs, in all truth. So it's going to be an absolutely fascinating game, in all truth. I think, but I agree, coming into that game away from home in France, everyone will take a draw, really, is I think the feeling coming into it, isn't it, really?
I genuinely think that of all the matchups, this is the most close game. Like, even though on paper, I think PSG, you know what I mean? It's favorite. But if I'm being, all these games are between, 1, 2, 3% difference.
Yeah, they're all pretty good matchups. Yeah,
they're all pretty good matchups. They're all pretty good matchups. But I think that this one is like the one that I cannot sort of put my finger on. You know, like because I have as many good arguments for one team as I do for the other.
Yeah.
Whilst for other teams out there, like I keep thinking about Atletico Madrid, for instance, and I keep thinking that Dortmund will go for. That's my opinion. That's what I keep arguing in my head about it. That's what I think. Bayern Munich, Arsenal, I do the same thing. Real Madrid, City, I do the same thing. But for Barcelona and PSG, I just cannot sort of, split the room.
Yeah, is that maybe because you're split between your heart and your mind? That's how I'm feeling. Like it's very hard to not be optimistic right now for Barcelona, but my logical mind is going, well, Mbappe's gonna shred us a couple of times. He's gonna find space. He's gonna find the back of the net. Yeah. I could see him. And Barcelona all season long have given up goals in the first couple of minutes. I could definitely see Mbappe, Araujo and Koundé just get their wires crossed in the first 2 minutes. Mbappe finds space. Boom. 1-0 to Paris early on. I could definitely see that happening.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
And before getting to that, how do you think the sort of break, the 10 days for Barcelona to prepare for this game has been, affecting us? Pablo, who has been there, watched some faces, seen some faces. Do you think that these 10 days, everything in Barcelona has been silent? It has been sort of gearing up for this game. How has it been these 10 days where normally this is just silent, right? It's weird that we have tendency like this. Normally we have a game beforehand, and there hasn't been the case this season.
Yeah, I think it is strange. It's been a very quiet week, by the way, as well. I'm sure it will pick up from Monday onwards, by the way, with all the the PSG preview and whatnot. I've got no doubt about that. But it's been a very quiet week at the club, actually, with no La Liga game on the weekend. I think it's ideal to have a game before. I'm not going to lie. I think when I look before a lot of our comebacks or even a lot of our slip-ups in games, I've often looked at the game before and thought, what happened in it? And I think before PSG, the 6-1, I think we beat Celta Vigo 5-0. And you just felt the Camp Nou warming up, Messi on the score sheet. I think it just helps. And it's like, if we had done Napoli beat Atletico Madrid beat, next week we play Las Palmas, beat them, and then the midweek we've got PSG, then you're probably feeling a bit better about this game than we maybe are now. I think the break isn't ideal. PSG will probably feel a lot more in rhythm. Barca come in a little bit cold in some regard. At the same time, it could be one of those cases that we come out and it's been one of the first times of the season where Xavi's had all his players, hasn't been an international break, but it almost has in the fact that it's been such a long break and he can work tactically on a lot of things there. And for this sort of game, we're going to need to be good tactically. And I'd go as far as to say it's a sort of game that if you get it right, you can carve the other side open. I'd say the same for PSG towards us. But it can be one of those where, because both teams are going to attack, there's going to be loads of spaces. And if you can get your game plan correct, which I hope Xavi's done in these 10 days or however long it's been, then we're going to really be able to run riot there. I do feel that. And I know Luis Enrique will be feeling the same with us. And he'll say, if Barca step up and we're going to kill them with Mbappe, but we have to turn into that team that puts the pressure on them. And I know we can. I genuinely know we can. And I'm saying that our players on paper compared to theirs, we can take a grip of this game. I think the big thing will be playing in Europe away from home. We've got players who haven't been there before. The atmosphere, I'm guessing, is going to be quite vile, really, in all truth. And from our point of view, it's going to be like a cauldron in there, I'm expecting. So it's one of those ties, but it's why we're here,
Yeah, I look at the... Sorry, John, were you going to say something?
No, I was actually on more of what Pablo was saying towards the end there. I think because of where it is in the season, where we're on the back end, it's been a long year. I think the players are actually going to appreciate that bit of rest. PSG did play over the weekend. They rested some players, but, gave some folks a run out. So I think if this was in the round of 16 and we had this kind of pattern and missed a weekend match and then we're playing PSG in the group stage, I would actually be more worried about it then. But I think because Barcelona have actually been hitting their stride, skipped the, missed through the international break, came back, no problem. I think this is actually going to be good. I think these are going to be rested legs going into this.
Yeah, I'm looking. What I want to mention is that I look at the team from PSG against Clermont that they played this weekend. They drew 1-1. They actually had to score in the last few minutes of a goal from Gonzalo Ramos in the 85th minute. And I look at the team and they've rested Donnarumma, they've rested Hakimi, they've rested Marquinhos, they rested Mbappe, they rested Lee Kang-in, they've rested Dembele, Vitinha, Fabian Ruiz, basically the entire starting 11, right? And I think that would be a good segue to talk about now. What do we expect for these teams coming in? So first, let's talk about Barcelona, I guess, and then let's build with that team that we have a combined 11 compared to PSG.
Yeah. Let's start from the back, right? Because I think it's going to get maybe we'll get some differences as we move forward with the club.
Yeah. We need to debate position by position.
Yes. So obviously, is anybody willing to say it's not Ter Stegen in goal?
What do you mean, Iñaki Peña for the win?
Okay, that's hilarious. Moving on, Ter Stegen in goal. Defense. I'm going Cancelo, Kubarsi, Araujo, Koundé. I'm not varying from that.
Yeah,
Pablo's with me.
I'm not changing it either.
Okay, midfield. This is where it gets interesting because depending on what you're reading there, Pedri, Frankie might be available. Not going to be 90 minutes match fit, right? Christensen the same. Christensen's also coming back from injury. So we got some variables. Let's go pivot first. Who are you guys starting in the pivot for this one?
I think they're gonna go with Christensen. I think Christensen, they will risk it. I think also from the three players that were injured and the ones who can come back, Christensen and De Jong were the ones who are closest to full fitness. So I'll go Christensen there. I think that position is going to be for him.
Okay.
Agreed.
Let's just speculate, say he's not ready to go from the start. Who are you putting in the pivot position? Is it Roberto?
I'm playing a 4-man midfield. Either way.
Oh my.
That's what I'm
God.
Oh boy. Okay. All right. Okay.
Oh my God.
Pablo, who's your backup pivot if it's not Christensen?
I think it would be Roberto, but obviously you've got the other option of doing Fermin, De Jong a bit deeper, and Gundogan. Yeah. That wouldn't be a bad midfield for me.
Yeah. Okay. Buga, who else?
I think I have my midfield three. I think I think I have what I think the lineup will be.
Okay. Well, let's stick with the midfield first. I'm curious. Let's go Buga first because he's got 4 midfielders. So who else you got playing with Christensen then?
Next to him, I have Gundogan. And I have Frankie de Jong.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who's your 4th midfielder playing on that left-hand side?
Here we go.
It's Fermin, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, it's Roberto.
Oh, what?
I'm playing Roberto in this game.
And you're gonna play him where? So what does your midfield look like then? What is your formation?
It's like a diamond, or not like a diamond, but like a I don't know, like just 4 people in the midfield.
Just rotating players. Okay, so you're going Christensen, De Jong, Gundo, and Roberto.
Gundogan, Roberto. I'm having Gundogan be more further forward than all of the other players.
I get what you're saying. So I could see like Christensen with De Jong and Roberto alongside him, and then Gundogan playing more attacking mid, falling into those pockets.
Why do I want that? Because what I want technically is for Koundé, Araujo, and Kubarsi to form like that back 3 isometrically, have Cancelo push a little bit further forward, but we still keep the same number of players in the defense wide with Christensen, who could drop a little bit deeper, then have Frankie de Jong and Roberto to get the ball out, and have Gundogan just be a connector, just quick passes. What I've seen, for instance, this game between Manchester United and Liverpool, like I've been looking at the way Manchester United play against Liverpool, and they have Bruno Fernandes just sitting sort of as the player most highest up the field, where he just gets the ball and he can quickly get it to the on runners, and that's what I want Barcelona to do. I want Barcelona to take advantage of PSG coming forward, because we know PSG are not going to defend; they're just going to come out and attack. So I want to take advantage of that. I think this Barcelona side are better playing that role.
All right, Pablo, looks like you have some thoughts.
No, not. If there's one team in Europe I wouldn't be taking tactical advice, advice off right now. It maybe Pochettino Chelsea would come second, but Ten Hag's Man United will be up there in terms of being an utter mess and being saved by results. Because I mean, if you're following their game model, then you're going to get relegated.
Who's your midfield three then, Paulo?
I think what it will be is Christensen, De Jong, and Gundogan.
Yeah,
I do.
that
which is harsh on Fermin. I suppose it's harsh on Sergio Roberto, and I think Xavi would be tempted to start Sergi. Bulgar, the only issue with that four-man midfield is it could work, but I actually prefer if Sergi's in a four-man midfield, either in the middle or on the right. I think he gets really uncomfortable on the left because he always has to turn back. And I think, the four midfielders, like when everybody knows what they're playing, I think we have a bit of a problem. I was away to Man United in the Europa League last season, speak of the Devils, quite literally the Red Devils. We had Kessie, Busquets, De Jong, and Sergio Roberto, and it just felt like to me, who's like right mid there, who's left mid, and it was sort of no one in the end, and it was just really messy.
Mm-hmm.
And it was all just like everyone on top of each other and a bit of like a congested mess. No one was really occupying different zones, so I mean that he could go for four-man midfield, but I think it will be the three with Pedri on the bench, and I suppose it's not bad to have the likes of Pedri, Fermin, even Sergio Roberto to come off the bench,
Yeah, ideally, that's I understand. I think that is Roberto. Like, if there's one player I'm taking out, of course, it's Roberto. Out of that midfield, I just think that we are gonna get pressured quite a lot, and I think that just an extra body there is literally gonna help us quite a lot. That's why I'm going to say Roberto, and he has also been playing quite good in this position. Or actually, if Xavi thinks Frank de Jong is not ready, I could totally see as well Christensen and Roberto Gundogan as a midfield. I think that Fermin, even though he's been playing really good, I think the likes of a Fermin could be much better out of the bench.
Yeah, I'm with you on that too. Yeah, I'm going Christensen, Frankie, Gundo. If Christensen or Frankie can't go, I'm putting in Roberto. Then I would put in Fermin. I would have my depth chart lined up in that order. I am going three in the midfield, but I will say as part of my attacking three, I have Rafinha, and I could see him dropping in underneath Lewandowski and playing that sort of attacking midfielder role. So it would end up looking more like a diamond, looking more like a four in the midfield. I could see that happening. And then, of course, I got Lewandowski and I got Lamine Yamal starting on the right. You guys with me? Is anybody starting Ferran in this match? I'm looking at you, Buga. Okay, so we got essentially we got the same lineups, except I'm going Rafinha. Pablo, do you have any changes? Rafinha.
I'm going Rafinha, Lewandowski, Lamine. Just a quick point on Rafinha. The good thing about him is that he's different to playing João Felix on the left wing, where you're probably not going to get him dropping into midfield. Rafinha will run up and down all day like a madman. Yeah. So like, you want hard workers that he can actually help us out in that regard, and Xavi knows that, else he wouldn't be starting him. It's almost like Xavi's way of starting a third attacker without doing it for real in a way, because he knows Rafinha's going to help him out.
Yeah.
I don't know what I read today, that this is the craziest thing I've ever read, that maybe Vitor Roque has a chance to start. And I was like, what?
Yeah. I can't imagine that. Yeah. You're reading nonsense, Buga. I don't know what kind of algorithm you got going on over there, but telling tall tales. All right.
Not the first one I've told this this video.
Sure. All right. Well, since we're pretty close on a starting 11, then it sounds like we have Rafinha, Buga, you have Roberto. Let's work off of that. Who would you take from PSG and who would you remove from Barcelona?
John, can you give me what is expected to be PSG's lineup for this game?
I'll give you my. Can I give you mine? This is what I think. I've done my research.
What PSG's lineup is going to be? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, how are they going to line up? I'm intrigued.
I think it's going to be Donnarumma, Hakimi, Danilo Pereira, Marquinhos. What's this guy's name? Nuno Mendes. No, Beraldo could be instead of Danilo Pereira. That's I give or take. Then I think in the midfield it will be, if I was Luis Enrique, I think he will go with Ugarte. He should go with Ugarte because he needs that guy to get the ball back quick. But I wouldn't be surprised to see a three-man midfield of Fabian Ruiz, Vitinha, and Isai Emery, it's he fit? I think he's fit, right?
Yeah, I believe
So that will be his midfield: Fabian Ruiz, Vitinha, and Isai Emery. And then up top, I could totally see him going with a Kylian Mbappe, Ousmane Dembele, and I think he could actually go with the Korean Lee Kang-in.
Ooh, not Muani.
No, I don't think he will. He hasn't started Muani really.
Okay, interesting.
He has actually been playing Dembele way more as a number 10.
I've seen that. Yeah,
it is interesting the way he's lining up. He almost has done like 4 midfielders in a way at times himself.
Mm-hmm.
It is interesting what he's doing with old PSG.
That's funny. There are so many layers to this matchup in terms of the managers, the Dembele factor, just the history of these two clubs in Champions League over the last decade or so. Like there's a lot going into it. I'm very excited for this tie. Okay, so I'm assuming again that we all have Mbappe starting on the left wing in our combined 11.
Yeah.
Right. So I would have Mbappe, Lewandowski, and Lamine Yamal for my front three. I like just to try to bring somebody else in. I would bring Hakimi in at right back. That's where my list ends, gents.
Do you see what I mean, John? This is what I'm saying about the rest of the team, and this is my point Barcelona have to look at. Because yes, they got Mbappe, and someone made a point. Someone was like quite unfair. They said like, "I'm crying, take Mbappe out," and it's a Wolves team. But I they had some interesting points in the fact that some of their players are on paper. You could see them like dropping to like a lower level in a year or two of their career.
Sure.
I personally think we won't see it like that on the pitch. Mm-hmm. In fact, I know we won't, because I think obviously they've played together all season. They are good players, but also because I think they'll work well as a team, and they will tactically also under Luis Enrique. Yes. But if we're doing this combined 11, I think they're going to come up short in almost every position, and that's why you have to look at Barcelona and say like, we have to perform now. We actually have a team. I know we said it last season as well. This season's the same. When we're in these sorts of matchups, this is why we did the Palancas in the summer, to have these players. Look at our team now. It's actually quality. The goalkeeper, the back four, the 3 in midfield, and the 3 in attack. It's a very good team. And then lining up against that PSG team, it trumps almost every single one of them, doesn't it?
Yeah. Buga, it sounds like you've been doing some deep diving on PSG. You got anybody else that you're bringing into the starting 11?
Look,
Buga's face. If you're only listening to this, you need to go and look at the video on YouTube. Just Buga's facial expression to that answer. That's good.
I think Hakimi is a player we'll bring. Mbappe, of course. But then after that, there's literally, I don't think, a single player I would change.
Yeah.
I think I would keep the back line. I think I would keep the midfield. And yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Okay, so before we get to match predictions, I got a couple of over-unders for you guys. And for folks that don't know what an over-under is, I'm going to give a situation and a number, and then Buga and Pablo have to say whether it's going to be more or less. It can't be the number that I'm giving, right? I got 3 of these. So first one, is Barcelona going to have over or under 60% possession in this match against PSG? Under 60. Wow. I'm gonna go over. I'm gonna say 68% possession for Barcelona.
What?
Yep. 68% possession.
No.
Yes.
No, you're
yes.
crazy.
Yes. Okay. Mark it down. Put it in the books. 68% possession.
Wow.
I apologize in advance for my American co-worker.
Love it. We know Americans don't know ball. Okay. Over under 1 goal for Kylian Mbappe in this first match. Over or under 1 goal?
So we can't just say we think he's going to get 1.
2 or more, or 0?
I'm going to go over then.
I'm going to go over as well.
I think he's more likely to get 2 than none.
Yeah, okay, I concede. I'm with you. I wanted to fight the good fight, but no, I think it's probably 70-30 in favor of him being more likely to get 2 than 0.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's going to be tough. Okay, last one. Total number of goals for this first leg, over or under 2?
Over.
I like those answers. I'm also going over. I think this is going to be a bit of a shootout. I think,
but I don't like this. I don't like the shootout. Just so we're clear.
I know.
I think that
Baby Booga's going to have a little heart attack.
I think the problem is that I'm gonna have a heart attack. Literally.
I know you sweat over
game.
teams that you don't even care about going into penalties.
I
like
know.
This is
what was the game that I was watching that I told you that I was?
Bro, I don't know. Was it like Dortmund or somebody?
The penalties. I don't know.
Yeah,
who.
I don't know who it was, but
was it Arsenal Porto?
That
Yes.
yeah. That's who it was.
Yeah, but that's because you're a little closeted Arsenal fan, though.
No, I was rooting for Porto. What do you mean? I was rooting for Nico Gonzalez.
No,
Right. That's funny. Oh man.
Lovely.
No, literally, I remember the remontada 6-1.
Yeah.
I can I tell a little story?
Yeah.
Do you have time?
Yeah.
Okay, Pablo. That's the one time, but I'll tell it anyways. So that day, I went to my dad. My mom was like on a trip somewhere, and I went to my dad the day before, and I was like, Dad, I'm gonna stay here because we're gonna win the game. If we win the game, I'm gonna tell Mom that I literally missed school just to watch the game, and she's gonna kick my ass. And she was like, fair play, because Barcelona are never gonna win. I told the entirety of my friends. They all were like, yeah, okay, whatever. See you next week. 6-1, we won. Ser Roberto's goal. I will never forget it. I didn't watch it, but I'll never forget what I felt. Why I didn't see it? Because I remember it was a free kick. Like, it started with a free kick. I just couldn't watch it.
Yeah.
I just couldn't watch it. I literally was. I left the room. I was like, okay. I put myself in the closet, and I was like, just screaming, like, I don't want to hear anything. And the goal happened. And dude, best memory I've ever had in my entire life.
That's amazing. I
just couldn't believe it. I knew that free kick was gonna go in. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I knew it was gonna go in. Like, I was like, we are so gonna do this, because I wouldn't have not watched it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's so impossible to win a 6-1, but I knew it was gonna happen. So that's just like.
Sorry, you didn't watch it go in then?
I didn't watch it go in. No, I turned around and I saw Roberto going like.
Wow, dude! Wow. I'm laughing at Pablo's shock now. I would love to know, actually, again, for the listeners. I bet every Barcelona supporter who's old enough, I know we got some youngsters listening, but anyone who's listening probably knows exactly where they were when that happened. The comeback, la remontada against PSG.
You were there.
And when
I came back from Barcelona one day before that happened. So months in advance, my now wife and I were planning a dream vacation to Barcelona, and not looking at Champions League calendar, we planned it for the week before. And so the first leg had already happened. We show up to Barcelona. I got to see them play. I think it was Numancia and Celta Vigo, and they beat them like 5-1 and 6-1.
Numancia.
Yeah. I think those were the two clubs. It was something like that. But so we were in the Camp Nou for both of those matches. Amazing experience. But just because of the timing, we fly back to the US, and I get home the day before that match against PSG. But I did get to watch it. And I also walked out of the room right before the free kick. And again, my wife, Katie, goes, no, babe, they got a free kick. Come back. And so I came back in the room, saw the free kick, saw the next goal, saw the Roberto. Yeah. So amazing.
I thought you were both missed it then.
No. I got to see it. What about you, Pablo?
I missed it on purpose.
Oh, it was interesting. No, I mean, I just watched it as normal, with my mum, and I think my brother was there, and the dog, obviously, and just going absolutely like mad when it went in. I literally couldn't believe it. I was like screaming. What a feeling, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, what a game. It's made my favourite game of all time, actually. Wow.
Yeah.
The only one...
I remember...
Go ahead, Buga.
I'm going to change the game, so if you want to say anything...
Well, I was going to do... The only one that tops it for me is, of course, the miracle at the Stamford Bridge. San Andres. That stoppage time goal from Andres Iniesta, I literally bouncing off the walls. I like all season long, I knew Barcelona scored late goals. I thought we were destined to have the Champions League trophy that year. And I remember going into maybe a minute before that goal and just slumping down in my chair and accepting the defeat. And then San Andres, baby.
It's weird. For me, the other best game I've ever watched is not a Barca game. Apart from that, I will put the final there. I'll put the final of the World Cup there.
Oh, Messi. That makes sense, right?
No. Messi, Argentina versus France. That's a good one.
Yeah.
But for me, the other one is this
Brighton,
one is really it's really weird. It's when Atletico Madrid beat Liverpool at Anfield with 2 goals from Llorente.
This guy over here is the most.
That was a class game.
That was a good game, bro. That was insane scenes. Okay, another one.
Over Stamford Bridge. Are you kidding me, Buga?
I was 10 years old, dude. I could barely know.
Don't call me out like that. How dare you?
Okay. Anyhow, what I wanted to say is that I'm not gonna survive this game because against Liverpool, when we lost at Anfield, they literally had to call. My roommate had to call, had to call like the suicide line prevention.
Yes.
She thought I was gonna jump from my window because I was like devastated. I was like devastated for like I couldn't. I literally had to call my dad and be like, I don't understand. Why is life so cool? Like he had to comfort me over the phone. Like he was like, it's just a game. That's life.
Was that the most traumatic experience of everyone else in football? Because it was for me.
Yeah, it was for me. 100. I've not watched a highlight of the game ever.
Really? I've watched quite a lot.
Yeah.
I've never seen that, and I've been to Anfield, and then a guy, the tour guide, I said I was a Barcelona fan, and then he told me like, hey, you can come over here and watch this. Look, you want to step on the grass? And I was like, yeah, no way, cool. And then I didn't know, and he had me standing where Trent Alexander-Arnold took the corner, and he told me that when I was standing at that moment. And he was like, wait, stop. And he's like, and I was like, what? You're standing where Alexander-Arnold took the quick corner. And I was like, fuck you.
And Boga 2-footed him.
Yeah. For me, it's not just that match. It's because it also happened against Roma the season before, and it was a more amplified version of that. So for club football, I think that's the most devastated I was for sure. When I think about all of football, though, like if I think about the U.S. men's national team not making the 2018 World Cup, not being able to get the results against Trinidad and Tobago, that was such a letdown.
No. Have you seen the World Cup where Peru missed the penalty against Denmark? Do you know that?
No, but Bulga, I've got a Peruvian friend actually who plays six-a-side with us in Cornwall, and he was telling me about apparently how it was like massive for them that game, and apparently it like rocked like Peru, like they were like we can't,
bro. Bro, you don't understand. You already knew. You were like, oh yeah, I know Bugalu. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, dude. It was Denmark. We were waiting for this moment for ages. Like, I don't know, 36 years without going to a World Cup. Like, generations of people have never seen their country in a World Cup. They go there, we watch the game, and the fucking guy skies it like miles into the fucking sun. And I was just like there, like, dude, I'm not joking. I am not joking when I say that if Peru scored that freaking penalty, Peru would have gotten to at least the 4th place.
Wow.
I'm not joking. We were playing so fucking good football. I don't know what the
year
fuck
was
that
this?
guy did. 2018. We were fucking number 10 in the rankings, dude. Wow. Number 10 in the, we were like number 10 Peru, what the fuck? And it's like, dude,
he's so triggered right now.
Like, that moment, like literally to this day, like if you just say like Cueva, who is the guy, it's like I feel bad for the guy. Like, imagine if I am mad at this moment, like I am right now, dude. Every time he thinks about it, he might wanna like.
So USA has that, and it is Wondolowski, because in the 2014 World Cup, Tim Howard put in a Superman performance, had 17 saves, and not just like
against Belgium, was it?
Against Belgium.
Yeah.
And they weren't saves like, oh, they just kept, rolling it to him. No, these were rockets. These were well-placed shots. Like Tim Howard, no joke, was Superman back there. And then in extra time, I think it was extra time, or it was right before.
Yeah, you went to extra time.
Yeah. Well, it went to extra time, but at some point late in the match, ball falls to Chris Wondolowski, and he just has to get it on frame, and he doesn't. He skies it over, and then we go on to lose. So that, like, in terms of shoulda, woulda, couldas, that's the one. That's the one for us.
No, bro. Like,
I'd ask Pablo, but I don't think we have enough time to go through England's shoulda, woulda, couldas.
Oh, I'm not in England.
He's a Spain fan.
Sorry.
That's even worse.
I don't know.
Fair, we've had some vile moments of late. I'm not
penalties against Russia, penalties against Morocco.
Tournament, we have excruciating round of 16 games, extra time.
Yeah.
85% possession, and then we lose on penalties every time. It's actually really painful when it happens again and again.
Yeah, there were some stinkers, I guess, huh?
Yeah.
Oof. Okay, we've gone way off track. Let's circle back. Let's circle back. Predictions for this match, and we'll wrap things up. What do we think?
Yeah. I'll go first. I'm going to stick with what I went with. I think it was a few weeks ago when we did it after the draw, wasn't it? I'm going to stick with going PSG 2, Barca 2. I think it's going to be a really good game. It's going to make it open at Montjuic, obviously. All to play for. No away goals anymore, obviously. So that obviously 2 would have been an even better result for us 4 years ago or whatnot. But I'm going to go 2-2 because I think we're going to be okay against PSG, weirdly. I do. Because I think we can actually, like I said on paper, I think we're a better team than them. I think we've got better players than them. But I know that at home, and the way things are in Europe for Barcelona of late, I know that they're going to come in and be favourites and whatnot and put us under an awful lot of pressure. So I'm going to go 2-2.
I'm also going to go 2-2.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm going to say Mbappe scores first, then Rafinha, then Lewandowski, and then Mbappe gets a second one.
We turn it around to be hit back.
Wow. Yep. Buga's in deep meditation.
I think Barcelona loses 2-1 in part of things. I think that we have been genuinely lucky in this Champions League. Like, not lucky in the sense that we've like gone through by luck. But what I mean is that, for instance, the second goal against Napoli, that's like, like a little bit of luck where actually those things go your way. And I think that can happen, but I think that happens in the second leg. I think the first leg is Mbappe scores first, then we get a goal by who knows who. I don't care at this point. And then the second from Mbappe, like at the game, and Barcelona are crawling back into the game. We're getting back into the game, and we end the game with a sour taste because we don't get that second goal. That's what I think happens. Okay. I think that 2-1, and Barcelona take it to Montjuic, and I think that's where it has to go our way. But I think it's round 1. That's what I think happens.
Oh boy! All right, well, we'll see. We'll be watching that match on Wednesday, right? The 10th coming up. And then we'll be back to talk about it next week. So let us know down in the comments, what are your predictions? What's your starting 11 for Barca? What's your combined 11? You got a lot of typing to do. So let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. We do appreciate the love and support from the Más que un Podcast community. And we'll be back next week with more Barcelona football conversation. We'll see you then, folks.
Bye.